Okay, so hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. And today we're going to be doing a reading for you guys about your studies, college life, things like that, that kind of lead into your career. I might be mentioning some careers in your reading, but it's not really going to be the main focus of the reading. I'm going to do a little something different. Normally I show you the cards right away, but this time I feel like you guys might use your abilities. Some of you might have abilities and be able to figure out which pile is calling to you, and so I'm going to give you a little minute to figure out what pile might be calling you. And for those of you that need to have something to see, I will provide that for you in a little bit. So and while I wait, I'm going to provide some shuffling sounds in case some of you might need to hear something, right? So group 1. Group 2. Group 3. Okay. So hopefully that lets you know what to do. And if you need to see something, here are some cards. We have the octopus for group 1. We have the nightingale spirit for group 2. And we have the bear spirit for group 3. Alright, so if you need to take some time to pause the video and to pick the card that is calling to you, or if you would like to go back to listening or seeing, then you can do so. Please go down below and click the pile that has resonated with you. And with that being said, I'll get started in group 1. Hi group 1, welcome to your reading. This is going to be all about your studies. This is going to be a timeless reading, just so you are aware. It doesn't really matter when you stumble across this, but this will be more about things that are currently happening, maybe through like the next couple of years essentially. And that being said, I'm going to get right into your tarot. The first card that popped up is the Magician. So with this card, this talks about essentially honing your craft in a way and learning in order like a balance, kind of learning different things, as well as like Pentacles, which is money, creative energy, emotional balance, intelligence, things like that. Like you're learning like to balance all of these things with your studies. So I feel like you are the type of person who is able to learn something but also know when you need to study versus go out and hang out with your friends or your significant other. I feel like you know your limits and how much time you need in order to correctly spend on your homework and other things like that. Now those studies could be like a college, or it could be something like that you're doing with a private tutor. Maybe you're learning a different language but you're not going to college to do that. Whatever this is, you know when you need to work on learning and remembering versus having your free time, and that's very great. It also can talk about being able to manifest things. So maybe you're trying to manifest a certain outcome and you are very powerful and you know that you're powerful at manifesting, and you're able to manifest whatever outcome that you are hoping to achieve. The next that comes out is the Prince of Wands. So with this card being here, this tells me that you're someone that likes to move fast. You're not someone who likes to spend a lot of time learning and relearning and remembering, and you're someone who just kind of wants to learn it and move on to the next thing. You kind of want, I feel like you're someone who wants to be very big or very high up in whatever you're doing, and you don't want to spend too much time on one thing. I feel like maybe you're even someone who gets bored easily doing one thing at a time. So maybe you're doing something like you have a normal work, and then you also have private works, things that you're doing, like maybe you have your own online shop and you're making something, but you also have a normal job, I feel like you're someone who wants to constantly do new things and learn new crafts, even if it has nothing to do with your work per se. But because you're going so fast and trying to learn so many things, you're making a lot of mistakes that you feel like, oh, I should have known better. You know, like you feel like it's kind of stupid that you did that. And so maybe you should let yourself relax and take a breather and be like, wow, I have accomplished so much, and allow yourself to really soak up that knowledge instead of constantly moving on. You should, I mean, you can obviously move on to other things, but make sure that you have remembered what you need to remember. And so you're not making these mistakes that you regret or you feel like are stupid. Now, the Prince of Wands, this is represented by Sagittarius energy. So some of you could be Sagittarius, but you don't have to be. The Ace of Swords represents new ideas. So I feel like, again, you guys have moved something, you're doing something, and you're like, oh, I kind of want to do this now. And you're learning new ideas, and you're getting new ideas, and then you're hopping to that next idea, and you're trying to learn and get better at that one thing as well, and then adding all these other things to your list. Yeah. With the King of Swords here, this again is a very fast moving energy. This tells me that you guys are all very intelligent people, and you are trying your very best essentially to be a leader, be a boss, be on top, be on that throne. You know, I feel like you guys also might be very charismatic. You might be very good at public speaking. Maybe that's what some of you guys want to do and learning to do as well. Maybe you guys are taking a speech class. I don't know. Everyone is obviously doing it at their own pace. Maybe some of you guys are just naturally great speakers. This could be about you, obviously your intelligence and you being very keen to learn. But it could just be about, like, maybe you have a really high IQ, so you're taking a lot of advanced AP kind of classes, or again, like learning at a faster rate than most people are. Now, with the King of Swords, this does talk about Libra energy, so some of you could be Libras, or Libra could be important, right? Like Sagittarius is important. These things could also be talking about time frames. So I'll get all the energies and we can figure out like a time frame for these. But because I don't know when you're watching it, I'm just gonna say like what type of seasons and stuff. Like we have the Nine of Cups here, and this tells me that whatever it is you're doing, you are going to be emotionally fulfilled. You're going to be very happy with your job, with your work. So even though you're very fast moving, even though you feel like you have to keep doing new things, you are happy with what you're doing. So maybe you do this job a lot, but you're able to find time out of your day, right, and balance your work and your personal life, and you're able to find a lot of time out of your day to continue to learn new crafts because that's what you enjoy doing, or spend time with other people. But either way, like, you are happy with the money that you're making, you're emotionally fulfilled with whatever it is. So whatever you do decide to do, it will be the right choice, which is always pleasant to hear. Now we have the King of Wands. This is Aries energy, and he talks about someone who's very creative. So this field could be something that is actually creative in some way, but it doesn't have to be. Because I feel like, again, you're very balanced with your right and your left brain. Your left brain being the one that's more logical, and your right one being the one that's more creative. I feel like you guys want to constantly work both sides of your brain. I know a lot of people tend to favor one or the other, but I feel like you guys are one of those people that favor using both. Now, with with him being here again, I feel like this is another confirmation of you wanting to be on top. You want to be your own boss, no matter what it is. So maybe again, some of you could just be having your own shop, and that is what you enjoy. Or you guys could be influencing. Maybe you guys are very high up in your social media statuses, and that's what you're working on as well. Does not have to be. I'm just trying to make it as general as possible for as many people as possible. Now, we do have Justice. So again, Libra energy. So I feel like Libra is very prominent in this particular reading. This again, it talks about balance. So like I've been saying this entire reading, you guys are a very balanced group. You know what you need to focus on at what point, and you want to make sure that you're focusing on so many different things so that you're always level, so that you always you're not as stressed. I feel like you are a very calm group, and you're just always, you seem like a very excitable group too. Like you're always excited to learn new things, you're always excited to do something new, travel someplace else. I feel like some of you guys might be traveling, because it does feel like, because you have 2 kings, that you guys might have a lot of money from whatever it is that you're doing. And so maybe you guys spend a lot of time traveling on vacation or some kind of break. Maybe you guys are learning new languages, and that could be why you're so good at public speaking, or why you have a way with words, because you know how to talk to a lot of different people. Maybe you learn a lot of different things about different cultures as well. Now, I am feeling called to take the card at the bottom of the deck. This is going to be like the energy that isn't as obvious to you. So maybe these things are all very obvious, but this one thing is like something that you're not allowing yourself to acknowledge. And the card at the bottom is the 9 of Wands reversed. Okay. So with the 9 of Wands here, this lets me know that you guys are again working on something creative, because Wands tend to be more creative. And I feel like it almost feels like you have a lot of people here, right? Because it looks like you're going into battle. So I feel like you guys again know how to communicate with a lot of people. You have a lot of people, like maybe a lot of friends or a lot of coworkers that like you, and are gonna help you on this journey. Now, with that being said, because it's like the one like right behind the 10 of Wands, which is obviously the completion, it does feel like you guys aren't acknowledging, like, again, like your speed. Like you feel like you're there, or why aren't you getting there fast enough? And you are so close, I think, when you start to feel like you have to stop, or maybe you feel like you have to learn something else because you're like frustrated that you're not figuring this out fast enough. I feel like that's for some of you. And this card is here to tell you that, again, to slow down and don't be so hard on yourself. I feel like some of you guys are really hard on yourself when you're not learning something at the pace that you want. So maybe you really want to go fast, but you're realizing that maybe with this certain topic that you were just like at the same pace as most people, and there's nothing wrong with going at that pace. But that being said, I know some of you are probably like shaking your head at me, like telling me that I'm wrong, or that there's no way that you're gonna be okay with that. And you know what? That's okay. So at the same time, I feel like some of you might even think that if you're not the best, right, in whatever field you're going into, you might think, oh, well, someone else is going to get that job promotion. Someone else is going to be better than me. What if I am not good enough and I lose my job? I feel like some of you guys are so hard on yourself that you think that everyone else feels that way about you as well, that you're not good enough. And it's really all in your head. It's just you who thinks this. You are good enough. I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but group 1, you are good enough. You are perfect in the way that you are, and you are going to get there, and you're going to be emotionally fulfilled. So do not work so hard on yourself, because you're going to get there, okay? Now we're moving on to the animals. So the first one that popped out is the whale. And with this whale here, that tells me that you guys are getting somewhere that you want. You're getting, like, what's the one I'm looking for? Fortune, right? So the whale can talk about good fortune or good luck. So again, I feel like you guys are very lucky, and you are going to be doing something that you love in the long run after this whole studies is done. And this also talks about someone who could be spiritual. Obviously, this doesn't have to be religious, but it could be. This could also be just the fact that you guys like tarot readings, or that maybe you do tarot readings on your own. Maybe Spirit is trying to reach out to you and let you know that you are on the right path. I feel like some of you might be unsure which is the right path, but you are there. And this is also talking about, again, like someone who's very calm, someone who is very aware of their emotions, and they know when they should be emotional, or like let their emotions out, should I say, versus when they need to keep calm and save it for another day. I feel like you guys are very aware of yourself, which is always really nice to hear. And then the elk is the other card that popped out, and with this elk card, this tells me that you guys, in the end, you guys are very proud of yourselves. You look at what you've accomplished, and you're like, wow, I did that. And you're like patting yourself on the back, and you're like, I feel so good at myself. And someone else might be like, oh, they're so prideful, they're so boastful. But you earned it. You really did. You earned that ability to be very happy with yourself. This can also talk about you, again, wanting that energy of being in charge, or you being in charge. So I feel like a lot of you are going to rise up in your career, whatever that career is, and be in charge, or you're starting your own business. You guys might be entrepreneurs and starting your own business. That does feel like something that a lot of you could be doing. But it does give me boss energy again. So now we're gonna do the moon cards, and this says your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus. So Taurus season might be important. You might be a Taurus, or more likely, or not more likely, but like the other message would be that, again, you guys are very, I feel like some of you guys are very dreamy. Like, you have all these aspirations and these dreams that you want to accomplish, but you have no idea how to get there, and you don't know which one you should follow. And so some of you need to just sit down and think about it, and just be like, this is what I enjoy the most. This is what I want. This is how I'm going to get there. You need to be really practical and honest with yourself and how you can possibly do this, instead of just kind of floating. I feel like some of you might just be like, okay, I'll get there eventually, right? I'm not going to figure this out now. I'm just going to learn, so that some of you might even learn a lot because you're not sure where you're going. So like maybe in high school, let's say you guys took so many different classes because you're like, well, this class might be really good if I want to do this, and this class could be good if I want to do that. So I feel like a lot of you guys experimented a lot in high school, maybe even junior high, middle school. And I feel like you guys did all that stuff because you're thinking, okay, well, no matter where I'm going, I will have learned a little bit about what it is that I want. Now that is for some of you, that's not for all of you, but I do feel like some of you feel that way and have done that. And because you have that experience, those of you that did do that, I feel like you can logically say, this is what I enjoyed the most. This is where I want to go. This is where my soul is calling me to go. And then from there, figure out what your plan is. Like, do you want to go to college for a typical 4 years? Are you going for more? Are you going for less? Are you going to a trade school? Are you going to just be your own boss and start your own business? What do you truly want to do? Where are you being called to go? And just to go for it after you have properly planned, right? So I feel like that is what that card is letting me know. and expect powerful change. So this again is telling me that whatever's going on, it's going to be very powerful. It's going to be very different. So maybe a lot of you have all these big dreams, but you don't actually think you're going to get there. Because again, you don't think you're good enough, and you're going to get there. This again confirms that you are going to get there. It's going to be insane. You're not going to even believe that you're there, and you're going to pat yourself on the back and be proud, and you're going to be there. It's going to be so far from where you are right now, because it is a powerful change. It's going to be very different from where you currently are in your studies, to actually be doing it. And I know that you guys are going to be very happy no matter where it is that you are. So with that being said, I am going to shuffle some oracle cards for you, because I always like to shuffle something on camera, even though I do most of my shuffling off. So what does group 1 need to know about their studies or their career in their long run? This might take a bit because I'm only taking jumpers or flippers, but I hope that you guys can be patient. What does group 1 need to know about? Okay, and a card fell, and let's see what it is. Okay. Time for a beginner's mind. Okay, so this is very important. I completely get where this is coming from. This is letting you know that you have learned so much over the long course of your studies. No matter, I feel like some of you probably do go to college for a long time, because it does feel like you guys have so much knowledge, and that you're very intelligent. So maybe some of you do go for a long time, but know that when you're learn with the beginner's mindset. Do not think that, oh, I know more than this person here, so I should have a better grade, because that's only going to stress you out more, and it's not going to be as fulfilling. So if you allow yourself to be where everyone else is, and to tell yourself that this is all new information, you're going to get so much more out of that class, and you're going to soak up and learn so much more than you could have. And I feel that because you're learning so much more, it's going to be more fulfilling. You're going to be happier in the long run, and this is going to be better for you when you are on your career path, because now you have learned more, essentially. And at the bottom of the deck, which is the energy that you aren't necessarily wanting to admit, we have be loyal to what you love, the dog spirit. So I feel like some of you might be telling yourself that your job is not going to get you money, or you're not going to fulfill it. Maybe some of you are picking a job that essentially is a job that not a lot of people get. Maybe some of you want to be an actor, because that's like very hard to achieve, right? And you work really hard and you actually get there, but you don't think you're going to, because you love it so much, but so many people are going to get there, and you don't know if you're just going to fail. And so you're trying to pick more logic-based and not more creative, right? And this is letting you know that you should pick whatever you love. And I had brought that up originally at some point in this reading. I know about how I brought up how you guys have a lot of different things that you like, but you should pick the one that you love most. I think that was with the moon in Taurus. But yeah, this is coming up again. It's letting you know that you shouldn't just pick what you think is going to get you the most money, or you shouldn't pick what you think is most likely to get you a job. Sure, those things are nice, and you can always have a backup, but you should really pick what you love, because if you don't pick what you love, you're not going to be as fulfilled or as happy in that career. You're not going to maybe achieve as high success as you want. And I feel like this is really telling you to go for it. If you needed something, or anyone letting you know that you are good enough, or that you're going to get there, this is hopefully that reading for you. I'm really proud of you, Group 1, for everything that you're going to accomplish. Now, like I said, I did mention a few different signs, so those would be like the seasons or the times of the month that might be important for your success. I believe it was Libra, Sagittarius, there was something else, Aries. Yeah, those are like the seasons that I think popped up. Oh, and Taurus. And so maybe those are the things that you need to, the seasons that might be important to you specifically, but they do not have to be. I hope this resonates with you. I hope this gives you renewed hope for your future with your job and your studies. And let me know in the comments down below if this resonated. Let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see on my channel next. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Only if you want to, of course, but it would mean so much to me. Hopefully I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye, Group 1. Hi, Group 2. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be a timeless reading for all of those you need to know, and if you've come across this video late, it's totally okay. It's just going to be like for the duration of your study. Like maybe even if you take a break and you study sometime later, then that wouldn't really count. It's more like the first time you go to study. And this could be about college, or this could be about a private study that you have decided to do. Like maybe you hired a private tutor for language or something else, or maybe you go to like a 2-year trade school type of thing. Whatever this knowledge is, what's going to come up for you. I'm going to start off with the tarot cards for you guys, and yeah. So the first card that popped up is the Prince of Swords, and this talks about Gemini energy. So some of you could be Gemini, or you can work with Gemini, or Gemini season might be important for your learning. So with this Gemini, with the Prince of Swords in reverse here, this tells me that you guys are not slowing down. You want to kind of move really fast, and in this you're like more like you guys want to get to the end result versus actually take time to learn. I feel like you guys might also be goofing off a little bit. Like I feel like some of you guys might be more of a party animal, want to go out and go to the parties, and maybe some of you are in a frat house or fraternity, you know, and you're hanging out with all these different people and friends, and you're not as focused on your schoolwork as you should be. With the Two of Swords, this talks about a decision and a knowledge. So I feel like with this decision and knowledge, I feel like you know that you need to spend more time on schoolwork and on learning and on studying, but would you rather not? You're just like, I don't actually want to do that. I don't actually want to put forth this work. I'd rather hang out with my friends. And it's kind of nugging at you, like you know you need to. Maybe you're seeing your scores are not as high as you'd hope, right? But this isn't, even though like this is here, this clearly is not enough to get you to choose the right path. But you know what you should be doing. And with the Ten of Pentacles here, this lets me know that you guys might be spending a lot of money, right? Maybe you're spending a lot of money on your friends, on these parties, on drinks, on whatever it is, but you're spending money on something you shouldn't be spending money on. And you should be saving your money. And maybe that's another thing that you know you need to be doing. You know you need to be saving your money. You know you need to be frugal. Maybe this is the first time in college and you don't have a lot of money, and you need a job, a better job, but you can't get that until college is over. And you're telling yourself don't do this, but at the same time you just can't help it, and you just have to do it because you enjoy it, right? This can also be talking about possibly taking a career, possibly taking a job, right, at the expense of someone else. Maybe you're competing with someone that you know and you took their job, or you're afraid that maybe you have to compete with all these people that you've met in college or online or wherever you're learning, and you don't want to compete with them because you like them, because you're spending time befriending everyone, and you don't want yourself to win while that might hurt someone else. Like, but at the same time you want to get that job because you don't want to hurt, because you need that money, right? So I feel like this is very conflicted energy here. A lot of this is very conflicted energy, which is probably why you've come to this video, because you're seeking guidance. You don't know what you're going to be doing and how to what's the best course of action, essentially. with the 10 of Wands here in reverse, a lot of reverse cards, this lets me know that you feel like you know that you're on the wrong path, right? This is not the right path for you. This is not where you need to be going because you're not spending enough time focusing on your studies, and you're not going to get a job if you do not pass, right? So again, this is like telling you to kind of like take some time away from these bad decisions and try and redirect yourself, essentially. Stop spending so much money on these parties or on your friends or on yourself. Stop going and hang out with your friends so often, or your significant other even, and spend more time focusing on learning, right? And with the Four of Cups, this also talks about knowing that you're on the wrong path, right? Stopping, thinking about it, and now making a course of action. This is what you're going to do, right? So now you're ready to go forth in the correct direction and help yourself. Maybe you realized somewhere along the way that maybe in high school it was very easy for you, right, to kind of coast on by, and you could hang out with as many people as you wanted to, and you didn't have to try as hard. And now that you're in college, you're realizing that it's a lot harder than high school, and you have to try a lot harder. I mean, again, that's a specific message for some of you. Maybe some of you in high school even chose to slack off, but you still passed, right? And didn't think anything of it, and now you have to do better than just pass, right? In college, and it's a rude awakening. I feel like for everyone, this is probably a very rude awakening going into this type of study, because you haven't had to deal with this. Even maybe some of you even took a break. I'm hearing that some of you did take a break from college, and you're going back to studies, and it's a rude awakening because you forgot how much effort and time you have to put into it, and you're used to doing something else and not having to put so much effort into it, and now you have to. With the Druid here, this tells me that you guys want to seek guidance, right? Which is obviously, again, why you're here. So some of you might be seeking guidance with your friends, family, asking, maybe even like teachers, right? Asking for help, like, what do I do? Can I do extra credit? Can I do this? Can I do that? Right? I feel like some of you guys are asking for help now, or maybe even just admitting that you need help. Maybe like going to like whatever college, like sometimes like the colleges that you go to, right, they have like a little study room, like maybe even a library, and just kind of asking for help from a teacher off campus, and not off campus, but like out of work. I mean, like not during class, but like go and see them, right? Or you're just talking to like other students that passed that class, and you're like, hey, I know you did this class, can you help me? I feel like you guys are asking for that kind of help. Some of you are going to be getting guidance, or trying to be getting guidance with your spirit guides. Some of them are trying to reach out to you and let you know what you need to be doing, or that you're on the wrong path, or they're trying to like steer you in the right direction. They're like, no, this doesn't have to be for everyone, but some of you are getting that. And this could be in many different forms. They do reach out in many different ways. Some of you could even be tarot readers, right? And you're asking for help through your tarot cards, like, help me, can you give me some specific messages? So you might even be going to ask or pay specific tarot readers for specific messages that you need, right? If you do not have that. Which again might be an expense that you feel like you don't need to spend, but you're going to spend anyway. With the Emperor here, this lets me know that again, you are... So some of you are not one to ask for help. I hear that a lot of you guys, or some of you guys are the type of people that do not ask for help when you need it, because it hurts your pride, or you don't want to admit that you need help, or that you're doing something wrong that you don't understand, because you feel kind of stupid in a way you don't understand, which is not the case at all. Obviously everyone needs help understanding in some way, and I feel like because you guys weren't paying as much attention as you should have, obviously you weren't soaking up the materials as you should have, right? And because of that, it makes you feel lesser, but you're not, and you can be like the Emperor upright, which is like more about like being a boss and being in charge and making all that money and stuff, and you can totally do that if you suck in your pride, you go and ask, because once you ask, you'll feel so much better. You will do better on your tests, and it's really something you need to do. Now, with the Four of Wands here, this lets me know the reason behind this whole thing. The reason why you're not admitting you need help, the reason why you're not even spending much time on your schoolwork is because you are afraid to fail. So you are setting yourself up to fail because you're afraid to. You think, okay, I'm gonna put forth so much effort and energy and time, and I'm still gonna fail, and I'm not good enough. I hear a lot of you guys are saying that you're not good enough, or that you're stupid, and that is not the case. You would not be in that college or in that, we wouldn't be learning this, however you're learning it, right, if you felt, or if you were, because you wouldn't have been able to pass, right? And you did. You just have to focus more time and energy, and then you can be very intelligent, very smart and knowledgeable in whatever field you're trying to do. And I feel like because you guys are so convinced that you're going to fail, that you're self-sabotaging, right? So this is like, maybe all of you knew the entire time with this Two of Swords here, you knew that you shouldn't be doing this, right? And the reason you chose to ignore that feeling was because of the underlying issue of you feeling like you are not good enough. And that you're gonna fail, and because of that you just chose to hurt yourself further, right? And now you need to ask for help. You're finally having to admit that you need to ask for help, and you're going to push forward on the correct path of success, which is very good for you. Now, I have been, or in the previous pile I did look at the bottom of the deck to see anything that you are not admitting, but I feel like the Four of Wands is essentially what you weren't admitting to yourself, or you didn't want to. I feel like a lot of these energies were more about what you didn't want to admit, but I'm still going to double check, see if it's anything new. And right here we have the Ten of Swords, so this lets me know that you guys are, again, in a very bad place, right? So obviously there's a lot of inner turmoil here, and I feel like you guys, this is all about asking for help almost, or admitting that you need help, or choosing to overcome this idea of failure. And it's kind of like going back and forth, being like, no, this is how it's gonna go, and like the more optimistic side saying it might not, right? And I feel like you guys are going back and forth in your head. There's a lot of this huge battle going on about whether you're good enough, whether you should ask, whether you're not, and like all these bad habits I feel like are kind of dying, right? They're going away, and you're going to, and you realize that if you chose to essentially, if you chose to go back and admit your mistakes, admit that you need help, everything is going to be okay. And that's something that you don't want to admit because you don't want to admit that you need it. But there it is. Okay, so I'm going to do the animal cards. I'm going to put this off this side because the animal cards can go in the middle. So we have the Cobra here. And with the Cobra, this lets me know that, again, you are going to be more of a willing student now. You're going to listen to what the teacher is saying, and you are going to kind of like focus and start taking better care of your schooling, right? And you're going to choose to learn. Essentially, that's what the Cobra is really all about, is learning and being a student once more, in that student mindset, right? With the Camera, this talks about the lack of water that you are receiving, essentially, or the water that you are now receiving, because it's upright. But this essentially is saying that now you're soaking up the nutrients, the material, the water, so to speak, into your hump, right? And you are remembering things and you're learning from them. Now, maybe you find it easier to learn at night because the camel does depict a night. And that might be the case for you. Maybe some of you choose to stay at night but still hang out with people during the day, but know that when when you need to go home, right? And know when you are going to get tired and what time you need to go to bed. I feel like I'm hearing that some of you are setting up a new bedtime schedule. Like, you're like, I'm going to bed at this time, so I wake up on time. Maybe some of you have been sleeping through classes. I don't know why I'm hearing that, but I am hearing that you guys have been sleeping through classes. So that might be just a message for like 1 or 2 of you, but it is there. So for those of you that have been, I feel like you're definitely setting up a schedule. And even if you haven't been sleeping through class, maybe you find it better to set up that schedule so that you're more in that student mindset, right? Because now you're like focusing more on what you need to do, focusing more on a routine, and routines sometimes do tend to help you feel better and help you succeed. Now I am hearing again, this is a message for a few of you, I'm not sure how many of you this is for, but I am hearing that some of you might not be getting enough water. So this is a message to drink more water. Group number 2, you need more water, and a lot of people, you need a lot of water every day, and I feel like some of you guys are choosing to drink, I don't know, carbonated beverages, maybe even alcohol, because now you're at college. If this is the first time you're going to college, like some of you are going back, but I feel like you guys are not drinking enough water, or some of you aren't, should I say. And for those of you that aren't, this is definitely a little reminder, a little like note, essentially, like, hey, you need to drink more water. Your body is thirsty and needs more. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next one. So with the moth, this talks about someone who's always going, right? And so I feel like some of you need rest because you are constantly going and doing a lot of things, or you feel like you have to go out and do a lot of things with these people, because now you've set up this pattern of hanging out with people all the time, and now they're like, hey, where'd you go? I feel like some of your friends are like being very bad influences on you, and so now you feel like you have to go out and keep doing a lot of different things all the time, and now you're expanding all of your energy on hanging out with these people, but also focusing on schoolwork, and you have like no time for yourself. And so I'm hearing that some of you need to take a break from these people and just be like, yeah guys, I need time to rest, okay? Because you need it. You need to allow yourself some time to rest and take a break, because you can't keep going at that pace. Now some of you, obviously, maybe that's your natural pace. Some of you could be Gemini, right? Because Gemini energy to pop up, and maybe you're just constantly doing things because you don't like to sit still. That could also be what the moth means, and that could be like confirmation or reinformation or whatever about you choosing to do a lot of different things at once, but it still works for you because maybe some of you even need a fidget toy. I feel like I'm hearing that some of you study or need to study with a fidget toy, so maybe that's another investment that you're choosing to spend money in. But some of you are going to be like fidgeting around a lot, and you have a lot of pent-up energy. Some of you could have a lot of pent-up energy that you're now not spending on your friends, if you have chosen to separate yourself from your friends and focus more on your studies. And now that you're not doing anything, you need to go out more and spend more time outside. After maybe you study outside. I'm hearing a lot of like messages for some different people, and so I'm sorry that if a lot of these messages had nothing to do with you, but when I hear something, I have to say it. So I'm sorry for those of you that don't need this, but yeah, maybe some of you need to go outside. Obviously, it's not always gonna be sunny outside, but when it is a nice day, maybe some of you need to go outside and study, and that will help you. And maybe even talk while studying. Maybe you guys need to study with other people, right? Because you guys seem to be very social. So I think some of you need to form a study group to study with your friends, or to study with people that are more about studying. Maybe should I say like more people who've been studying more often than you have, should I say? And I feel like some of you guys are going to be doing that as well. I think that's it for the messages with the moth. Hold your vision. So again, with the whole idea of you guys not knowing if this is the correct path, or knowing how to get back on the path. Remind yourself, I guess, should I say, of what it is you hope to achieve, what job it is you hope to get, what knowledge it is you just want to help you in your career, should I say, if some of you are just taking a private class. And remind yourself of that. You're like, just tell yourself every night or every morning, this is for whatever it is, right? And so maybe some of you are lacking the commitment, right, or the energy to keep going, which is why, again, you're also going out of your way and spending more time with other people and not focusing. And you just need to remind yourself why you're doing it, because obviously this is important enough for you to be there. So it will put you back on the idea of how important it is for you to keep studying and keep going at that pace. So emotions are running high. Superman. Yeah. So with this lets me know that you guys are... There's a lot of emotion going on here, right? And that makes sense because there's a lot of progression here with you guys originally just saying you're not good enough to now you guys realizing that you are. And so I feel like because you might allow your emotions to get in the way of your schooling, whenever you hear yourself saying you're not good enough, or whenever you start to feel really bad about yourself, maybe some of you even are choosing not to eat as much, right? Maybe that is saying like you need to go out and eat more, right? With the camera. Whatever this is, obviously I think that when you feel a lot of emotions going on about your schoolwork, you need to just take a break and breathe, right? I feel like just try to do something that is happy and positive for yourself, because when you keep going and going and going, right, like you need a break with that mom. You can't keep exerting all this energy because you're going to have a break, a mental breakdown, right? And you're going to be feeling very bad about yourself, or you're going to be really sad or angry, or, and whatever that is, I think that you guys need to just stop doing whatever it is and allow yourself that break. Because you've gone from having a lot of break and not a lot of focus to essentially focusing way more, and now you're not allowing yourself to have that break as much. Yeah, so I'm going to shuffle for you guys some messages as well, because I enjoy shuffling a little bit on camera. So what does group 2 need to know about their studies? This might take a bit because I'm waiting for it to fall out. Please be patient with me. Well, the otter spirit. You are never alone. Okay. So yeah, this is letting you know that, again, you guys are constantly spending time with other people. Some of you might even have a significant other, because it does feel like they're embracing. Oh, this could just be like a very close friend. And so again, I feel like this is definitely more of a confirmation for the fact that when you're studying, you might need to form a study group, because it might be hard for you to study by yourself. And this could also be confirming a lot of different things. Like, the entire reading was all about you being very social. So again, you are a very social person. You need to keep going out of your way and spending more time with people. Don't just lock yourself in your room and study, because that's not going to work for you, and you're going to, again, continue to feel bad about yourself, right? So with that in mind, this is your reading for your studies. I hope this resonated with you. I hope this helps you get back on the correct path of knowing how to better go about learning. And let me know in the comments how it resonated. Let me know any other videos you'd like to see from me in the future. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and if you feel called to do so, but that would mean so much to me if you do. And I will see you guys hopefully in the next video. Bye, group 2. Hi, group 3. So this is going to be your reading about your studies, and I'm going to get a little bit into your career, but not a lot. This is also a timeless reading, so whenever you stumble across it, it's completely okay. And I'm going to get right into your tarot. So the first thing that popped out is the World. This lets me know that you guys are someone that loves to travel, or that you want your career to be travel based. Some of you might even be going abroad for studies. Maybe most of the time you only do it for like a year or less than a year, but you guys do feel like the type of group that really wants to go and travel a lot. So I feel like you're gonna travel at every opportunity you get, including when you learn and study. Some of you might even be wanting to learn languages, right? So I'm hearing that you guys, some of you might even be bilingual right now, and you want to continue on, or either way, I feel like a lot of you want to learn more about other countries' cultures, travel a lot, learn more languages. You guys are very, some of you might even want to be authors, I'm hearing, or journalists, some kind of a writer, or in some kind of way, production, movies, acting, things like that. I feel like is another message I'm getting with the World. And some of you might also be meeting a lot of people at your college or online that are from many different cultures and countries than you are, and you are expanding your groups, I guess, of friends or contacts or people you can ask recommendations for. I feel like some of you guys want to network a lot, so maybe you guys are going into more of a acting based type of career, and you're networking and you're like, oh, I know this person and they're gonna help me get a job. Or you could be doing that for any kind of job really, but I feel you guys also are trying to gain these friends for networking purposes. Some of you might even be very charismatic, I'm hearing, and you are very good at communicating, getting people to like you, getting far in your career based off of that. Or maybe some of you might even be wanting to be more of a politician, in some way be in the limelight and be talking, or even on social media. Maybe you guys have a big following or want more of a following, and you guys are using your ability to be very personable to your advantage. Let's move on to the next card. I feel like I'm going to keep going with this one card and never stop. So we have Judgment here. With this lets me know that you have many paths, right? As I've just listed so many different possibilities with the World, this does feel like you guys have many different paths that you can go to, and you don't know which is the correct path and which one isn't. And obviously there's that saying where you want to walk on the path least walked on, you know, but that's not necessarily the right way you're going to go. But that could be a message for some of you to try and find that path, or to follow that path that isn't, as many people would say, would be successful for you. Like, I kept talking about acting. A lot of people want to be actors, but they don't succeed. And I'm hearing that some of you are in a field, or want to be in a field, where you might not succeed because it's very hard to get into. And which is what's holding you back almost. You're afraid of going into that career or that field because you don't know if it's going to be worth it, or if you're going to be stuck and you have to go back to study more. And that's kind of holding you back. I also hear that that's holding you back is what other people have to say. So I'm hearing that a lot of you guys are experiencing grief from family members or friends that are telling you what they think you should do. They think that you should go into this career that is safe, that is going to get you somewhere, that is going to help you out. But at the same time, it's not what you want, and you're being called in this other direction. And you also are afraid of what people will say if you choose to follow your heart. Or maybe you're afraid of rejection once you followed it, and you're trying to get a job and you're afraid, oh, they're not gonna like me, and you're kind of down, or so I feel. but you need to work past this fear that you are having when it comes to your career, because in order for you to be successful in your career, you have to believe in yourself. And I hear that a lot of you do not believe in yourself. And let me tell you, group number 3, you can do it. I don't know who needs to hear that, but you all need to know that you have the ability, the capacity to succeed in a career that you want to go into, and you don't need to listen to what everyone else is saying. Listen to your heart, listen to your guides, listen to what you believe you need to be doing. Now we have the Fool. So the Fool also talks a lot about travel. So again, this idea of traveling in your career is coming up again. So again, I feel that you guys are definitely going in a career that's more travel based. And you're not just traveling for fun, but you're traveling more so for your job. But it could always be for fun. I feel like your job and fun would be the same interchangeable thing. Now, with the Fool as well, this talks again about new beginnings, right? Which is kind of funny because the world talks about conclusions and endings, right? And this world energy could also be referring to the ending of your previous path. This maybe you were on a path. Maybe some of you guys were in a field in college that you realized wasn't working for you, and you are removing yourself from that field and you're trying to get on the correct field, right? And I feel that maybe some of you are trying to figure out what field it is you should be doing, which is why you're here. And again, that is that field that is not as traversed, that is not as popular because people are afraid of failure, or maybe just hard to get into because not as many jobs for that, is what I'm definitely feeling and hearing for you. The Fool also talks about wanting results without putting forth the effort. You want to get there, but you're not willing to put forth the effort. And obviously, you're going to bear the fruit that you have worked for, right? So if you take the time to work really hard in your studies, and you choose to help yourself with your networking and your social media platform, or whatever it is that you're using to help get you there, if you take the time to properly work it, then you are going to get there. I'm also hearing that some of you have tried, and because you're not succeeding right away, you feel like you should stop because you're not going to succeed in the long run, and that is not the case. So sometimes it takes longer for people to succeed, and that is completely okay. You just have to keep going. You have to keep putting forth that effort, that energy that you are going to succeed. You're going to keep telling yourself that you are. You can try to manifest it if you will, but if you choose to tell yourself essentially that it's not going to work, and you keep repeating it's not going to work, it's not going to work, then it's not going to work, and you're going to be stuck back at the world where you're trying to, go back and go back to college again, right? And you need to put forth the effort and the energy and the love that you need in order to keep moving, to keep traversing these grounds, and to bear your fruit, right? So we have the 5 of Pentacles. So with this card, this lets me know that, again, you are in this position of being alone because people keep telling you, who you are choosing to surround yourself with, that you're not going to make it. I think that's part of the problem as to why you believe you're not going to make it, is because people keep telling you this. And it sounds to me that the way to succeed is to stop listening to them, to be in the 5 of Pentacles energy, which talks about being alone. And it also talks about loss of money, which probably, if you're spending money on college and some other kind of learning platform, then you're going to be losing a lot of money, so that makes sense. And starting over as well with the Fool energy, not having a lot of money, it just keeps coming up, and that makes perfect sense because you're not really working. But yeah, this energy of being by yourself, of not listening to other people, and to listen to your own intuition, and to start over with not only with your career and your goals and your mindset, but also obviously your money situation, and all these other things, and you're in the people, right? You're just starting over completely. You're just making yourself a clean slate so that it's easier for you to find your path and to walk down it, right? So we have the Moon here in reverse, and the Moon lets us know that, again, there's a lot of negativity surrounding you about this choice that you have. And it talks about like the water here, right? It talks about going in deep, and in order for you to succeed, right, like this idea of you learning not only more about this craft that you want, but more about yourself. I feel like you guys need to take time to heal yourself. I'm hearing a lot of you guys do have a lot of past wounds that you need to take time to heal in order to help you stop telling yourself you're not good enough, right? And dive more in depth in yourself and your psyche. And I know that you can obviously find sleep meditation videos that might help. You can just choose to meditate a little bit every day, or maybe even write journaling, which I did pick up on this author energy at some point. So maybe journaling is what you need to do. You need to start writing down your feelings and really looking at your feelings and learning from them and helping yourself understand why you feel that way and helping yourself feel better about it. Maybe even like giving yourself like a pep talk every day, like you're good enough, or you're beautiful, or whatever you need to say to yourself in order to succeed that day or to feel good that day. I feel like is what you need to be doing, or starting to do more in order to get on this correct path, in order to succeed in life. The next card that popped out is the 9 of Wands. Again, this talks about you being afraid of failure. I really don't want to keep repeating myself, but the cards just keep coming up with the same energy, the same idea. And again, this is like an army, right? So you have this army of people that like you, right? Because you are very good at networking and you're very good with being social. And so these other people here are here, but it's in reverse because they all have their own opinions. And the only opinion you need to listen to is your own, okay? It's really coming through. I need you to know, listen to your own self. Listen to your inner intuition, your spirit guides, whatever you need to listen to, but do not focus on everyone else's energies and thoughts. It's only going to bring you down. So here we have the King of Wands. This is Aries energy, and this lets me know that essentially, again, the field that you want to go into is very creative, which is what I felt the entire time, essentially, except for the idea of a politician, which isn't very creative, but for the most part, they're all been really creative energies I've been picking up on. So it could even be like an artist, right? I never talked about painting or art or sketching, but that could be something you want to do, or photography, or some kind of like career such as that. And I feel you guys are using a lot of your right brain. You're very creative, you're very energetic, you're full of life, and you have all these ideas and things you want to do, but you have no idea how to get there, right? You're the fool, you're upside down, you have no idea what direction to go in. You're like searching, and there's a million different paths, but you're very creative, and you know in a sense of many ideas of what you want. But now the only thing you have to figure out is, are you going down the path that makes you the most happy, or are you going down the path that makes someone else happy, right? And that is really up to you. Although I feel like you should definitely pick this creative energy, this path that speaks to you, that gives you a lot of time to travel. You might not have as much money because you're traveling all the time, but that makes you happy, right? So what I've been doing with the previous groups is I've been checking the energy on the bottom of the cards. So the bottom of the deck is essentially the energy that you're ignoring, that you don't want to admit to yourself, but is there. So for you, it's this Devil card is what you're ignoring. And again, it's this negativity. And typically the Devil talks about abuse, right? Or manipulation, really heavy, dark energy. And I think all of this heavy, abusive, manipulative energy is coming from, obviously, the way your family and your friends are trying to manipulate you into going about this path, but also the abusive words you're telling yourself. I feel like a lot of this negativity is coming from yourself based off of what everyone else is saying. And again, you really need to let that go, right? If you allow yourself to be happy, you're going to figure out the path you need to go on, right? And the only way to allow yourself to be happy is if you choose to ignore what everyone else is saying to you. And this has popped up a lot, but I'm just gonna have to repeat it because each card keeps reiterating that, essentially. So we have the cheetah. Now, with the cheetah, this tells me that once you figure out what it is you want, once you get rid of this fly, essentially, that's here, right? This nagging sensation, or this nagging person, right, that's constantly telling you what to do. Once you get rid of them, you're going on full speed, you're going fast. You are going to achieve success fast, you're going to learn quickly, you're going to be developing well, right? You're very happy, you're achieving it very fast, but you're being really slowed down right now because of everything else. But it's gonna feel like you're a marathon runner by the end of this, because you're gonna be going so fast. And it might not even be fast to most people, but it feels very fast to you based on how slow it's been currently, right? We have step out of your comfort zone. So again, this idea of choosing a career that isn't very comfortable to you, or might not seem the best to everyone else, but it is where you need to be going. And it's gonna make you a lot happier once you step out of that comfort zone. And it's obviously, if you step out of it, you're going to feel more comfortable in that new zone, right? And it's no longer gonna be out. So show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. This popped out in reverse. This tells me, when cards pop out in reverse like that you are very afraid to be authentic and to be yourself. Which again makes sense, because you're wanting to listen to everyone else. But if you follow that path, if you show the world who you are, and again, it's really going to bring you happiness. So the energy, again, the energy that you don't want to admit to is a Scorpion. And this tells me that you actually have quite the stinger. I'm hearing that you guys are very, what's I'm looking for? That you can be very passionate, and you can be very opinionated, I'm actually hearing. And once you allow everyone to see the real you, they're gonna see that you have lots of ideas, lots of opinions, and you're also not going to be afraid to tell people to back off, essentially. You are going to be more inclined to let people know your limits. And I think a big thing I'm hearing is that you guys need to set up better boundaries. The reason this devil is here, this reason that these things are here, is because you don't have good enough boundaries. And once you allow this Scorpion energy to come into play, you're going to have those boundaries. You're going to feel a lot better about yourself, and you're going to be able to essentially continue on your journey with a much better energy field and a lot happier energy. And people are going to start messing with you too, because they know that you have this stinger, and they know that you can be deadly if you want to be, and they don't want to mess with you. I'm hearing that some people might even be afraid of you once you allow people to see you, because they don't want to upset you. So now they're thinking more carefully of the way they conduct themselves with you. And obviously the people that you let into your life typically don't really feel your stinger, right? They don't feel the pain because you are comfortable with them. But the people that you don't care about, the people that you're not friends with, they are going to be more afraid of you, or you can be very intimidating, essentially. Like, you have this boss energy. Like, you walk into a room with the most confident stride, and everyone stops and stares at you. I'm hearing that when you enter a room, you are the center of it, and everyone wants to be your friend, but they're all afraid to approach you, and they Okay, sorry guys about that. It just kept cutting out, so hopefully, I'm hoping that it's okay now. I finished shuffling while I was off camera because I didn't want to make it any longer than it had to be. But yeah, so the deer spirit popped out, being a gentle touch. This lets us know that I think you really need to be very gentle with yourself. the Deer tends to be more of a motherly nature type of card, so I think you need to be more motherly and loving towards yourself and allow yourself some room for error and allow yourself room to grow, essentially. And this might also be talking about you going back and helping your younger self, your your kid version, your child self, because I think that there might be some hurt from the past that is obviously contributing to where you are now, and maybe you need to comfort that child, essentially your inner child. Now the card that popped out that was in the back was the Buffalo Spirit, the abundant universe will provide. So this is something that you're not admitting to yourself because you don't want to, for some reason you're not believing that the universe will provide for you, but it will. I'm also hearing that you might be given many job opportunities. I feel like because you're so good at speaking, I think that a lot of companies or a lot of places want you, and now you have so many different opportunities and you don't know which one to pick. I'm hearing that a lot of places want you, and you are very likable, very desirable, and I think you need to know that. And so, that being said, that is the end of your reading. I hope that this resonated with you. I hope that, I hope this makes you feel better, essentially. And let me know in the comments down below how this resonated and any other videos you want to see from me in the future. Please also like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It means so much to me if you do that, and I will hopefully be seeing all of you guys in the next video.